He has the energy of 10 men, and he's loud. He's very loud. And we're here in Atlanta, Georgia at the Talk Show Boot Camp, and I'm here with none other than Malcolm Out Loud. And my name is Beverly Butler of the Misdiagnosed Life on the America Out Loud TV network. Malcolm, welcome to the show.
Give me 5, girl. How you doing?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Here in Atlanta. We made it to Atlanta.
We made it to Atlanta.
What do you think?
The whole America Out Loud team.
We're here in Atlanta, yeah.
Or some representatives of it made it here to Atlanta.
Yeah, I love Atlanta.
I do too, I love Atlanta.
It's a great vibe, great urban setting. I've always been home here. Yeah, it's cool.
I've always loved it too. So what did you think about the boot camp?
I thought it was interesting. I thought anytime you get that many men in a room with hot air, it's going to be fascinating to me, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And, right?
That's true.
So there were a lot of good people there. You know, the one thing about the boot camp thing, first of all, Gabe Hobbs does an incredible job at Don Anthony from Talent Masters. So this is a program put on once a year. Talent Masters puts it on Don Anthony with Gabe Hobbs Media. And it's talk radio, so it's for the whole industry, and they invite all the hosts and various talent here, and they really, really do a job. They put on great panel events, discussions. You were there. I mean, you see
they had some great people here, some great talk show hosts that imparted some good wisdom.
They do, and so I enjoyed that part of it. And you know, my goal with these kinds of things is always to come away with a new relationship or two. If I've done that, Beverly.
And we've done that this year.
Exactly.
We have done that big time.
If I've done that,
And
I am good.
We hope to have some new talent on the platform.
If I can do that and I can learn something from it, I'm happy, happy, happy. And this one here, I can say something about this boot camp. I don't fall asleep.
That's right. That's right. Now, I want to ask you something. You know, they talked about podcast, and they talked about mostly radio. But now, America Out Loud, this is a new platform. April 1st, here in about 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to celebrate a 1-year anniversary. How did this start? Because this platform is just very advanced, very advanced. We're doing podcasts. It's a network where there's several podcasts. And we just added talk radio on some of the biggest talk radio stations in the country, and now we're adding web TV.
Yeah.
And they talked about all of these things at the boot camp, but America Out Loud is actually doing it.
Yeah, and that's interesting, and that's what I heard back from several people. Quite a few people mentioned to me they were surprised. They were hearing some of the things being said on the stage from others that we were already doing. And they were surprised, and they were sort of mesmerized by that and saying, wow, like, you know, we can't believe what you're doing there. There was this sort of synergy and electricity there. But, you know, the secret to this is, and you kind of talk about this, you did a blog post a while ago, something about the box as a proverbial
life killer.
Life killer, yeah?
Yeah,
right.
life killer.
And I am a guy that runs through my life with no box whatsoever. So I never have to think outside the box because I don't carry one in my life, Beverly.
You've never been in the box.
Never had it, never had it. But it's all these people who carry this box around. So the point is, so when it comes to talk radio is an industry that is in change. It's upheaval. There's a lot going on in that. And it's sort of where television and cable were back then and what was happening in the industry. And that's what we're seeing in talk radio. A lot of people don't know really what's ahead. What's happened is the internet has transformed all of it. It's changed the entire dynamics. So people really don't know what to expect ahead, because what's happening is they're getting the information on the smartphone, on the phone, and they're getting it on the tablet. So that's where it's streaming from. So we started off, as you know, well, the vision for this, really, quite frankly, on America Out Loud was 2 people. You were one of those people. Beverly Butler was one of those, and Lieutenant Randy Sutton. Blue Lives Matter. Okay?
Sometimes I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because
Exactly.
he says, you know, when things are going good, I like to kind of take credit for a little bit, you know, giving him the idea. But sometimes things are not going so good. I think he wants to remind me that I'm part of the reason why we're doing
Well,
this.
it's easy to blame you at that point.
I know it's
so
easy to blame
it's good.
me.
It helps me sleep better at night. That and Healthy Cell helps me sleep better at night. When
Well, I'm taking it rather well, so I'm not holding it against you. But I notice that when you do that.
What's that? Yeah.
When you just kind of want to throw it on me.
Well, see, so the seeds were. So you were one of the beautiful people that came along back then, well over a year ago, and Lieutenant Randy Sutton, and you both wanted to launch into the talk radio market. You wanted to do something interesting with your voices, your mission, and putting goodwill out in the world and entertaining folks.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we started with a few very interesting people.
Yeah.
And we started with a half a dozen shows, and that was back in April 1st, 2016. And you're right, we're coming on the 1-year anniversary now.
Yeah.
But what was really exciting in the past few months is we launched, beside the podcast network, we launched our own talk radio network. Now, a lot of the people at the boot camp, they're not understanding really what we're doing.
Right.
Because we've taken all these podcasts and we formed together. Because you know why, Beverly? I believe there's synergy in unity, in collaboration. I really do. And that's kind of how this thing started initially. You're better to bring, 25, 50 people to go do this rather than just one or two.
Right.
You see? So I think the synergy is there. And I think what we have going on is very, very unique. I think it's just about bringing a great product to the masses, let people enjoy what we're doing. And, in many ways, I explained to people in the last couple of days, on the conference here, by the way, I said to them, think of us, because they wanted to know, like, what are you? Or what, sort of a, it's an oxymoron thing here. What's going on? And my description, think of us as sort of a Christian conservative a little bit, well, quite a bit actually, but sort of like the Huffington Post was, but on the other side, kind of. Because we're, a lot of us, and not, listen, I want the other viewpoint. I have people from the left and the center and what have you, as you know.
Right, you do.
But I mean, a lot of us are patriots. And when I say patriots, that means, less is more.
Right.
Yeah. And we're out for the better of the country, and we're out for the better of people.
Right.
People.
Patriotic Americans.
That's it. And that's what you're about. That's who you are. And that's why we connected on so many levels. We collected on a social level, a life level, a political level, everything.
Yeah. And I have to say this a little bit on a serious note here. When we were introduced, I'd been wanting to do a podcast and that kind of thing, and we were introduced.
And what did you really think?
Well, I thought you were a little different, but I was impressed. I really loved your voice because you have that radio voice. But we really clicked, and things just, sometimes, when something's meant to be. And it seems like America Out Loud was just meant to be, because you already had the domain name. Yeah. And then we met, and this idea and that idea, and you started talking to people. Other people liked it. Everything started falling into place.
It did, and I think quite honestly, in all truth with you, if I'm going to be totally honest, as I always am, what I call the out loud truth is that I believe totally, completely, God was part of this master plan.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just my doings, because there's no way I could have could not. Listen, I love playing Superman, and I love jumping from tall buildings from time to time. I enjoy it very much. However, there's no way I could have pulled off the last year if we didn't have a little bit of help in the way, because too much went the right way. Yeah. For us to sit here now at the Talk Show Boot Camp Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, and knowing what we've accomplished in the past year, which you tell me all the time. You remind me all the time of this. You're one of those voices that say, well, and many others, but I mean, you also are one of those strong voices. So we have done something fascinating. But I think what's happening is the talk radio industry is in flux, and it's changing fast.
Changing very fast.
People are getting their signals now from internet-based and computers and other aspects of it. And they're doing that because we're all on the move. We're quick, we're fast, we pace, we want something fast, right?
Yeah, and that's something else that you've been just way ahead of the curve and very innovative. You've already had apps developed, which is making it easier, which is still way ahead of the curve. It's making it easier for people to get the podcast and the talk radio. Because
all you do is you take out your phone, okay?
That's right.
And I love the fact that our talk radio streams 24/7.
Yeah,
okay,
and all you have to do is hit one button.
That's it.
You don't have to go through 5 or 6, 7 steps like they talked about at the boot camp.
So if you come on at noontime every day, you're going to hear the Misdiagnosed Life Beverly Butler on there. You just go to, whether it's Android or Apple, it doesn't matter. Just type in America Out Loud Talk Radio. It's all there, man.
Right.
You get whatever Android or Apple
easy.
app you need.
Easy.
That's the way it is.
That's right.
We also have a podcast app, so you can go in and you can channel in and zero in on what you want to listen to, which is very cool, because on demand is definitely in.
Right.
The millennials love on demand. They don't want to be told what to listen to at any time. But we also have the talk radio audience, because they're two different audiences, really. Now what's exciting about this venue here today is we've launched our web TV division. And so we want to bring more video into the platform. And
so you're getting everybody's the way they learn.
Everything.
We've got articles, podcast, talk radio, and now video.
You can read, you can watch, you can listen. You see, you can
listen.
do it all.
That's all. That's
Well,
all the ways that hits everybody.
Yeah, I think it does. I think everybody I can't tell everybody has a different preference. Everybody has and it's not for me to judge. I mean, it's up for them.
Yeah.
So if we can hit the media and give people what they want when they want it, then we have something very, very special.
Yeah.
I think people see that when they come. The other thing I take a lot of pride in, Beverly, is, as you know, the details in the our platform, our websites, the details, the quality of the product.
Yeah, it's second to none.
I want something
Second to
very
none.
universal, something very friendly, something very open-minded, something people can come to and say, you know what, I like that, man. And I want people to be at home when they come. In fact, we have at the top of America Out Loud, let the silent voices be heard. And that really is it.
Yeah, and you've done the website. You've done all the work.
Done a
Pretty much
lot
on
of the work.
pretty much on the
I've learned.
website.
I'm not a technical guy now. I'm a creative guy. You know, you got the left brain, right brain kind of thing. You were talking
Yeah.
to Ed Edwards in another television show you did.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love that guy, by the way. He is a really cool guy, Ed
Yeah,
Edwards
he is. He
Yeah.
is.
And I love what he does. And if you haven't seen that show, Ed Edwards, you have to, first of all, Beverly did a talk radio show with him, which is on talk radio and the podcast on America Out Loud. But she just also had him on the web TV show, and he is just he's one cool cat ass, I gotta tell you, man.
He is. He's
And the
neat.
things he does, he had everybody flipping out here in the studio and what had happened. So I really find him very, very unique. But that's the cool thing about this sort of thing. We can kind of crossbreed what we're doing between the television and the radio and the podcast and really the blogs and all of it. You know what? I am having a good time.
Yeah, and you've done just a phenomenal job. But I want to switch tracks just a little bit here, because this is a health show, basically.
Right, it's true.
But I want to ask you now, during this year, you have accomplished some things that it would be challenging for Superman to do. I do not know how you've done it. I don't know. You're just like Superman. You must have a lot of kryptonite in your house when that you live off of. But you have had a good bit of stress. I mean, I know one time when the server crashed and you just about
And
had
I
a heart
crashed.
attack twice over. So you've suffered through a lot of stress. How have you been able to handle and deal with the stress of all of this?
Yeah, good question, good question. Well, my vision, I'm an optimist. I've always been an optimist in my life.
That's
it's
true.
It's the
You
way I
always
wake
are.
up in the morning. I prefer to live my life that way,
Yeah, me too.
sincerely,
Me
really.
too.
If there are choices, and there are choices, I prefer, and there's something else I've always said in my life, and I believe we all have a choice. I prefer to take the high road, Beverly, not the low road. The
I don't
low
know how
road-
many times you've told me that.
See, in the low road, there's a lot of traffic. It's very busy, and I don't like traffic, and I don't like. I love people, but I don't want them on top of me that way.
Right,
You know.
right.
So I don't want the low road, sweetheart. I want the high road. You understand?
I
You know,
do,
that's where
I
I'm
do.
about. You know that, and that's what you want. And we want to do positive things. So we're optimists. And so for me, it was about moving the agenda forward. And I think that's the vision of knowing what we could do and what was really unique about this. At the end of the day, I take a lot of pride in the fact of our people. One of my blessings is the fact that I'm able to, and this is so cool, the fact that I'm able to bless other people. Like you are always rewarded me with great comments and several people are, and I so appreciate you. But the fact that people are able to reward me with the strong vibration of what we're trying to accomplish here and all of the good, and that's really the gift in all of this. To me, there's something bigger happening with all of it.
There is.
And
There
it's been a gift for me, and even the people in the industry who see it, like Gabe Hobbs, who's really well known in radio, and I think is an extraordinary man. I mean, he looks, and he spoke to our group privately yesterday, and he had a great conference, and he says we're doing something different, doing something special
And
and
we are.
unique, and
We
he
are.
knows it, he sees it, and he's seen a lot out there. So we have something very unique here. And I think, the other thing, I've started this thing when I jumped from the corporate boardroom to where we're at now 6 years ago. And I started with a man called Joel Silver, by the way, who's just behind the camera
is our
over
cameraman.
here. That's it. And Joel started with me 6 years ago when we started Malcolm Out Loud TV. And I started on an AM talk radio dial, on our daily show. And I started with Malcolm Out Loud TV. And Joel was with me then. He's still with us now doing America Out Loud. I wouldn't have done this with anybody else on the web TV part of it. And as I shared with you, I told you.
He's a neat guy.
Well, that's how it works, though, and that's how it gels. So I'm looking forward to this web TV to be something very unique. I want to be able to bring streaming video to folks We can do live stream. Now, when I say live stream, we did a live stream a couple of years back. We've done several of them, actually. But the first one we did was with Vasula Ruden. Out of Greece, actually. And we did a worldwide live stream. This was live, meaning it was in the moment. We streamed it live across the world. We had people all over Europe, all over the US streaming into this show that I did with it. It was the first time we streamed, and as I shared with everybody that day, if we were going to do streaming live video, I decided to pick a topic we couldn't fail with, so we talked about God that particular day. And that's what we did. Right. And so I've done several since then, and we did that really well. But we can do live stream video, we can do our shows, our web TV shows, and we can do a lot with this product and bring more high-level content video to folks with the news of the moment, with inspiration, with health and wellness, with things that matter in their lives. And that's what this whole network is about, is improving people's lives. That's what really matters.
And they can come to the network, AmericaOutloud.com, and get the cutting edge, up-to-date, some of the latest news in every area of life. And we're real proud of that.
Let the silent voices be heard.
Thankful for all the hard work you've done. Where do you see America Out Loud going?
Wow.
In the coming year and the next years?
Yeah, well, it's been a very fascinating year. Very fascinating year. We set the standards very high. I expected a lot, I really did, but that's been what I've done in my life. I've always expected that, Beverly. I'm harder on myself, you understand? It's what I expect from myself. But I expect extraordinary things ahead. I expect to reach tens of millions of people, as we are doing. I expect to, on all our platforms and ideas, I expect people are starting to really notice. In fact, some of the radio people I spoke to at the conference here, the Talk Show Boot Camp Conference, were quite fascinated and probably a little jealous, which I enjoy always. It tickles my bone when they're a little jealous, in a loving sort of way I say that. But it is some of the professionals when we talk about it. It's quite fascinating, So I think that we're going to really put out. We're going to add more shows just ahead, talk shows, and like you, these are extraordinary people out there who want to have their show. And I say that to folks because you maybe somebody, maybe you that maybe has the next talk show, and that's the cool thing about podcast and this talk radio, really reformation of what's happened in the industry. Anybody can really get into this and do really well if they have a mission and inspiration, how many times do I tell you, got to be heartfelt, you got to have authenticity. I call it the out loud truth. And quite frankly, at the end of each one of these shows, we do the out loud truth. So let me do that this time.
Go ahead and do it,
So here's the out loud truth I'm going to deliver now to you right here. So the out loud truth is this. So we started out on a mission. We started on a mission to bring extraordinary program to people of all walks of life. And we started with the concept of improving people's lives. That was the core #1 program. And it was also about entertaining folks because that's what you tune in for, clearly. I am so proud of our folks. We have military colonels, we have special operations folks in our contributors, we have, law enforcement heroes. In fact, we have one of our categories is called Heroes on the show, on the whole platform, because I look at them as heroes. So we are a very patriotic. America Out Loud is all about patriotism. It's all about bringing the best out of our country and our people. We're about society, cultural, health and wellness. We're about feeling good, being good. We're about all the things that are right, I believe, with mankind and all the things, the reasons we do this and the reasons we pour everything into it every single day. So the out loud truth is, we're here for you. We're here because we're having a good time. And you know what? Let the chips fall where they fall. We'll continue to do it. I see a lot of growth ahead in the years ahead. And we're going to continue to have a great time, folks. And you do as well. Get the app. Join us back at AmericaOutloud.com. Visit us here and visit Beverly Butler as well on the Misdiagnosed Life. She was one of the first seedlings on this network. And I got to tell you what, it's been an extraordinary program, a movement, and emotion here with us. We thank you for joining us.